We have a new scandal caused by Mark Drakeford's government in Wales, as we are seeing ghost officers funded by the English taxpayers, and Rees-Mogg is here to expose them. Here we go again. Even though 2023 is going to be, hopefully, the final year of Mark Drakeford as the First Minister of Wales, as he's announced that he's going to be resigning eventually at some point, we are still finding out more bad stuff, let's just say. Either financial corruption or money disappearing, obviously, or when it comes to the government waste and some other dodgy stuff. Now, this one is related to Mark Drakeford's governmental buildings in Wales. Now, there are about 10 main buildings in Wales across the country, especially when it comes to Cardiff. There are the main aspects of it. In those 10 buildings, there are technically 5,287 people, civil servants, bureaucrats, who are contracted to be working in those 10 buildings. Guess how many of them actually work in those buildings? 549. Only 549 of them out of over 5,000 people. These are ghost officers that are funded generally, mainly by the English taxpayers. This is one of those niche technical problems that the mainstream media usually are not really concerned about because it's not that entertaining. But for years and years, the media have been ignoring all these tiny stories that when you put them all together, it creates a mountain of chaos, dark socialist chaos. I can add more words to it if you want to, but the reaction is going to be quite interesting because Rees-Mogg is the first one to actually talk about this. It discusses with the Telegraph and many others because we found this information through Freedom of Information Act and the Telegraph reported it. Rees-Mogg said taxpayers' money ought to be used responsibly. Although it seems clear that working from home has led to lower quality public services, and we know that, if for ideological reasons the Welsh Government encourages working from home, it ought to reduce its office accommodation. Otherwise, empty offices is being rented, heated, and lit pointlessly, which is treating taxpayers. Yes, so for once, actually, Rees-Mogg went with both sides. He says, he's been pushing for working from home and to go against working from home concept. But actually, he says, if you have to, if this is somehow not really affecting public services, then you're going to have to be reasonable. You can't really have empty offices that, as he said, not just being wasted in terms of the rent money, but also heated and lit. You can't. It's in the middle of a cost of living crisis and energy security crisis. You cannot do this. And as it says, it will eventually deliver poor public services anyway. But if somehow you can guarantee that working from home is not going to affect the services, which is unlikely, it can work. Work from home as a concept could work in certain jobs, certain industries. We know that. And it also used to work before lockdown days anyway. But if they can guarantee that it's not going to affect the governmental work, then you don't need those empty offices, do you? We have literally a housing crisis, and we also have an energy crisis. It's like we're living in the 1940s again. It's absolutely embarrassing how our politicians turn this country, this beautiful country, into this mess, and nobody's brave enough to do anything about it. Every politician is looking for short-term gain. Everything is about short-termism. Everything is about plasters. And now we have a lot of people reacting to this. The Welsh Government don't want people to work in offices anyway. In 2021, they were fining people and businesses £60 fines for people going into offices. But they could still go to the pub. So you were not allowed to go to work, or you had to pay a fine of £60, but you could go to the pub. So what would you do? Would you rather lose £60 or use that £60 to buy beer? That was the logic of Mark Drakeford's government only a few months ago. And so I'm not really surprised if they don't really push for those civil servants to come back to work. It's not going to happen, despite all this push from Rees-Mogg, channels like mine, and the Taxpayers Alliance. Taxpayers Alliance also came back and talked about this, saying that if the Welsh government is insistent on its staff working from home, then taxpayers will wonder why they are underwriting expensive office space that is sitting empty. Budgets are tight, and families are being clobbered with sky-high taxes. So politicians and officials must live within taxpayers' means. Significant revenues can be raised for assets going to waste, and easing the burden on hard-pressed families. I mean, I agree with what the Taxpayers Alliance is saying, but that statement implies that people in governments and establishment state think like business people. They or competent and successful managers. They don't know how to manage. They don't know how to negotiate. They don't know how to sort out their budget. They don't even know how to increase government revenue apart from raising taxes and printing money. So they absolutely have no idea about the concept of international trade. But that's for another day. Let me know what you think of this idiotic Welsh government in the comment section. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.